I mean, if people would stop corrupting the revelation of Jesus Christ and calling him God when he was the second man, the last Adam, as Paul calls him in 1 Corinthians 15:45 through 47. I mean, in 1 Corinthians 15:21, he says, since by man came death, by man also came the resurrection of the dead. Whereas in the first man, Adam, all die, even so in Christ, who Paul calls the second man, the last Adam, all should be made alive if you abide in him. And then he continues to qualify that in the following verses, that the body we sow is not given life unless it dies. I mean, the writer of Hebrews is describing Jesus as the firstborn of many brethren, the first begotten from the dead. I mean, we need to understand when the writer of Hebrews is saying, you know, the assembly of the firstborn is saying church, but the Greek is talking about assembly of called out ones, a holy gathering of called out ones, of the firstborn. I mean, we need to understand the true revelation, because in chapter 2 of Hebrews, the writer is describing Jesus as a man. Look in chapter 10, he says, but this man, after he offered his body one time for sin, is sat down at the right hand of God. Didn't say he sat down at his own right hand. He said this man. I mean, we've got to understand it was because he partook of flesh and blood that God gave him authority over all flesh. The Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 2. I mean, in Romans chapter 8, verse 3, when he says that what the law could not do, weak as it was through the sinful flesh, God did accomplish by sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. You know, I mean, we need to understand he was made of a woman, made under the law, that he might redeem us who were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And we got to understand Jesus was made perfect at his resurrection, as the writer of Hebrews describes in chapter 5, verses 7 through 9. You know, and having been made perfect, he became the author